Hey guys, I'm Aaron, and today I want to look at a question that has actually come up a lot. Several people have asked about this. That is, we know we have the tag folders, but why are tag folders different from what's in Outliner already? And when should you use them? That sort of thing. So I want to take a look at just a couple of examples of where tag folders and Outliners would be preferable, one over the other. So let's hop in. All right, for this example, I have a building. This is just a little house on some land kind of thing. So I'll start by looking at what is already in here for this. So we're not really gonna manipulate or change what's in here so much as just kind of walk through this structure and see what we have and how we would use it, if that makes sense. Okay, so over here in tags, I do have all of these, everything in here is in a folder, or in a tag, which is in a folder. So here I have a folder for the first floor, for the foundation, landscape plan, second floor. So I can turn one of these off and the whole second floor will disappear. Or if I drop this down, I could work through here and turn off, here's the roof, the walls, entourage. So I could actually work my way through here, and this is one way to use tag folders. Now, because everybody does what they do in different ways, everybody has different methods for how they want to break their buildings up. I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. This is a way to organize your building or your model, is into large chunks, and in those large chunks, the smaller pieces. So the individual groups and components then will sit inside of a tag inside of a tag folder. So this was how I chose to set this up. So you can see on each of these sections, I have different pieces, so I can actually kind of turn pieces on and off one piece at a time, or I can turn the whole thing off by toggling the folder. That is, like I said, that's an option, but that's kind of the idea of how one would go about using tag folders. So separate from tag folders is Outliner. I've long told you guys that Outliner is awesome and you should use it. I'm not going to really go into how to use Outliner here so much as see the difference in the data that you'd want to maintain with Outliner versus tag folders. So just to dive in, so this fence, I have this fence which is a bunch of components. This panel repeats over and over and over again. So I'm going to grab one of them, and I can see it highlights right here. And you can see inside that wood fence, I have a bunch of components, columns, rails, and then a group of pickets with a bunch of picket components inside of it. So I'm just going to drill in here real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and double click one, and then you can see inside this, I have all these other pieces. This is how Outliner is supposed to work. This lets me drill down into nested data to organize or navigate my model. It is similar to tag folders in that I can nest things deeper. But what you probably don't want to do is you don't want to take each of these things, put it into a tag, and then put those onto separate tags, and then put those onto separate tags. So like I wouldn't want to have a fence panel tag inside that fence panel tag have a rails tag and a separate pickets tag. It's a lot more work because generally speaking, tags is here to set line styles or to toggle visibility. So with this fence, all I really want to see with my use is coming in here to landscape and turning my fence on and off. So having that all on the same tag means I can quickly do that. For organizational purposes, for working inside the model, I put all the pieces inside of one piece here so I can actually drill in then and grab and work on an individual piece there. That happens automatically with Outliner. I don't have to go in and create a bunch of tags. So therein lies the big difference between using Outliner and using tags. Tags is a manual thing you're going to set up to control visibility as you work through your model, whereas Outliner is an automatic way to navigate the pieces that make up your model. Yes, you could go through and create tags that correspond with every single piece, but it would be rough. it would not probably be something you would want to do. Plus, when I have things like repeating components like this, each of these components is its own entity over here inside of Outliner. So you can see here I have a whole bunch of these wood components, wood fence components, and each of them is their own thing. I wouldn't want to create wood fence component 1, wood fence component 2, I wouldn't want to create each of those under tags. I'd be spending my whole day making tags, basically, if I did that. So therein, that's the difference. So the big piece is creating tags, creating tag folders to help organization of view or assign line types, and use Outliner to navigate nested data, nested components, nested pieces inside your model automatically. So there are probably more ways you could go about using those pieces. So you could actually hop in there and come up with other situations or other ways to organize your tags. People have come up with great ways to use their outliner that work for them. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying you have to do it this way, but that was an example of the difference between tag folders and outliners. Really, the best thing is to use both of them. It's either not mutually exclusive. You can actually use them both side by side. If you like that, go ahead and click like down below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We create several videos a week around here, and you'll be notified of each and every one and our live streams if you subscribe. Most importantly, though, let us know what you think in the comments. Do you have an idea for another video? Should we be doing something different? We like making these videos a lot, but we like them even more when they're showing something you want to see. Thank you.